On this video, I'll be showing you two different types of a method you can use to achieve this type of a design, and the one that I prefer the most, that I think is most best for this band of a hem of a trouser. So without any further delay, let's get started. If this is the first time you are checking on this channel, you're highly welcome to Novelty Fashion channel, and if you're a returning, I welcome you back to the channel. Without any further delay, let's get started. Now the first thing, after you have already sewed the trouser, you have finished the trouser, you have ironed it out, then you lay it like this. You lay the trouser like this, and you measure the length of the trouser. Don't forget to apply the folding when you are doing the cutting already. So the length of this trouser is a 37, so I measure 37. Then from that point of 37 now, the band that I want to use, I want it to be at a 2.5. So what you need to do now is to minus 2 inches from that point, minus 2 inches from that 37, and then you roll it straight. Roll it straight, and then you cut it out. So after you cut it out, the next thing to do now is to cut for the band. Then the wideness of this hem of the trouser is a 7 inches. So now the next thing to do is to cut for the band. Lay the material you want to use for the band. You lay it like this. Then you fold it again in the 4 layers. You lay it again, and then the wideness of the material will be 3 inches. The wideness will be 3 inches, while the length now, that's 3 inches. So after you have stitch it, it will remain a 2.5. So then you fold this one again. You measure what you have here. I have a 7 inches. That's a 7 inches plus a half, giving me 7.5. So what you should measure here now is a 7.5. You measure 7.5, then you cut it out. So this is the first method. I'm showing you the first method here. Then in the next one, I'll be showing you the second method, which I prefer is best for this. But it's better to have the two knowledge. Then you take the one that I think is most suitable and then easier for you to do. So just open it like this, and you lay it straight down. So I advise don't skip any part of the video so that you enjoy and derive a value in this video. So you lay it like this, and you iron it out. So after you iron it, then you fold it over again. This is to allow you to get the center of the material. So now let's proceed to the machine. So now after you have laid the material like this, the next thing to do is to apply the bias on the material. So this I've given you the center. The folding we fold already have given us the center. So just place the bias like this, and you stitch it straight down. If the tension is too tight, make sure you lose it a bit so that the down thread will not be showing outside. Then you place the second one on it as well, and you stitch it straight down. So after you stitch here, the other side now, you don't need to fold it. You need to open the other side so that the black bias that we are to place on it will stay on the red. So just open it like this. So open it like this, and you just stitch it straight down. You don't need to bend it. Open the area the side that was bent on the other bias, and you sew it straight down. So if you have to stitch the other one on it now, you just place it on that line. So when you have to stitch the black on it now, you have to place the black on that line in which we open. So this will make the two bias to lay on each other. But if you are trying to place it side by side, the white material underneath may be showing outside. So and this will make the work to look more beautiful. So now after you have stitched this side straight down, you don't need to fold to open the other side. Just sew the other side straight down also. So after you have done this, the next thing to do is to stitch the side, is to join the two sides together. So after you have done it, let me change the thread. You change the thread, you can see it. So now after you have done this, the next thing to do is to join the side with a ½ inch, in which we use we add to 7 inches, which make it to be 7.5, and to just stitch ½ inch out of it. That ½ inch now we make the hem to key into the other side. So just sew 7 inches. At the 7 inches, sew it straight down. Do the same thing on the other side as well. And I give shout outs to some of my subscribers towards the end of this video, so I advise you to watch to the end, because you might be the one that gets my shout outs. So if you are yet to get my shout outs, what you have to do is that you just click on the like button and then you drop a comment. If my shout out is yet to get to you, don't worry, one day you might be the one that will get my shout out. So after you have done the stitches like this, the next thing to do is to bend it inside. After you bend it inside, then you stitch the tip all around. Stitch the tip all around. So this to allow you to hold the tip of the material when fixing it to the main body, so that it will not be giving you a lot of stress when you are doing that. So please follow the video, and the next one will be the one that I think I prefer most, and I will explain the reason between the difference between the two at the end of this video. Then you stitch the tip of the second one as well. Sew it straight all through. So this to allow you to hold the tip of the material, and then you have to insert it to the main body. So just cut out all the thread by the side. Do the same thing on the other side also. So now after you have done this, the next thing to do is to insert the band into the material, but this is the inside while this is the outside side. So it's on the outside side that the design, that is the bias, will fall on, not on the inside. So you have to fix this thing now. Just insert the band into the material, and then you set the joining, make the joining of the band and the joining of the trouser at the inside to meet each other. Then you stitch it all through. So this is the first method. This is how to fix the first method. Now this is how to do the first method. So now just sew it straight all through. So after you stitch here now, then the next thing to do is to weave the edge. So you just weave the edge and you do the ironing. So once you stitch it like this, because we have already measured the line, that is the hem, both the band and the hem of the trouser will be equal. So you don't need to be doing much stress fixing the material, the band to the main material. So now this is how the thing will come out. You just weave that edge around, and this is how it will come out. So you can see it now. Just apply iron, just iron it, and voila, that is all. So now this is it. So now this is the reason why that I said this method, I don't really like this method, because the line now, that is the bias now, fall to the back a bit. If you take a closer look, let's take a closer look now. You can see that the band is not on that line, and which is not that okay, but this one fall on the line, but this band now is not fall on the line. So the next thing to do now, I will show you how to achieve the second one. So now after you have laid the material like this, just open it. After you have cut the material like this, you have cut the band as well, just open it. Measure the front, only the front panel now. After you have joined it, whatever the front panel is, just add ½ inch to it. So now this one giving me 6.2. If you take a closer look, a very deep look, you will see it clearly. So that's 6.2 now. Then you measure 6.2 on the band, you fold it. Instead of folding the two and make the two to match each other like the one we did before, you have to fold the 6.2 what we measure on the front with a additional seaming allowance, which is ½ inch. So this, now you make sure that the edge is on the same side. Make sure you place the material the way I place it, because it has right leg and then the left leg. So if you did not place it like this, the two may fall on the same line. The two may fall on the same line. So just make sure the two face each other like this. So this is a 6.2. So you measure the 6.2 and you notch the edge. So on that notching now, that is where we place the bias. So I think the notching is not showing on the other extreme. So let me notch that. So now after you have done the notching, the next thing to do is to place the bias on it like this, the way we did it on the first one. After you have done that, the next thing to do is to fix the band to the material. So now this is the difference between the two now. So on this one now, we will not stitch the band before fixing it into the material the way we did the first one. So now you have to take the joining of the outside now and place the taping on it, on that joining. So the outside joining now, let me show you very well. So now the outside joining now, this outside joining now, that is where you have to place the taping, that is the bias we stitch. So that's on that joining now. So you measure it straight down, you place it on each other straight down, and when you get to the joining now, which is on the inside, you have to notch that point. You have to notch it, and then you match it together to the other side again, and you have to notch it here also. So after you have done this, then you can now do the stitches. Then you just measure 7 inches and then you stitch it straight down. So let me quickly make shout outs to some of my subscribers. Today's shout outs goes to Mr. Dennis. Thank you so very much, boss. Thank you for keeping up with the channel. And then the second person that's getting the shout out is the Mr. Chinedu Morris. And then the third person is Kimberly Phillips. Mr. Kimberly Phillips, thank you so very much. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for keeping up with the channel. I really appreciate you. And if you want to get my shout outs, all you need to do is to click on the subscribe button, like the video, and then you drop your comments. So now after you have done that, just make the two joining to match each other the way we did it on the previous one, and then you stitch it all through. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you for keeping up with the channel. I really appreciate you. Without you guys, I can't be here. I really appreciate your word of comments, word of encouragement, and then the prayer you normally send to me. It really means a lot to me. I really appreciate you guys. So just stitch it all through like this. Then after you do that, then we see the difference between the two, that is between the first one and this second one. You can see that the first one is a little bit easier, but this one is somehow technical. Not that it is difficult, but it's just a little bit technical and a little bit different from that one. So now let's see the results. So craving for perfection is what make you stand out among the crowd. So I advise, if you want to do this design, just go for this method. So you can see the joining on that side, it's equal, and now you can see it that the joining fall on the normal line of the trouser, and that is it. So that is what I use on the two legs. Now you can see that the joining fall on the line, and this look more beautiful and then very nice. So please, if you derive any value in this video, help me hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell, like the video, drop your comment, so that a lot of people will be able to benefit from the video as well. So thank you for keeping up with the channel. I really appreciate you guys. Till the next time that I bring you another amazing video like this again, I remain your humble guy, the nobility himself. So thank you and remain blessed. Bye for now.